To dream the impossible dream, to reach the unreachable star, and the difference between fame and artistry. Our next guest knows the life of a showgirl because she's lived it, you guys. And Denise Lee has performed at almost every theater in DFW, on stages all over the world, along with multiple theater and television credits, her own stage production company, and she still calls Dallas home. Denise Lee is here to take us inside the life of a showgirl. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's quite a resume, I must say.
Thank
it's
you.
quite long.
I've been around long enough.
So let's talk about it, right? Because we talked about how you've been on stages all across DFW, but not just DFW, all over the world, stages, nightclubs from Shanghai to Switzerland to France. Why do you continue to call Dallas home?
You know, there's something about coming home, and this is where my artistic home is. This is where I was groomed and I grew and developed what I do. I mean, there was a time that I wanted to go to New York, but New York wasn't for me, and I'm glad I found that out before I had to experience that, right?
But that's the beauty of travel, right? Is to be able to go to all these fabulous places and still be able to come home after. Yes, indeed. Okay, so tell me, how'd you get your start in singing in the first place?
You know, at first, I never thought that I'd make a living as a singer. I wanted to be an actor. You know, I auditioned for Star Search as an actor years ago.
Really?
The original one. And so, you wouldn't have told me that I could have made a living singing.
Doing
but
this.
You know, I've always loved to sing. And so that's something about what you do. You allow it to show you and to lead you where you're supposed to be.
So at what point did you know, okay, this is definitely a career?
Oh, when I couldn't do anything else.
I know that's right.
When
She said, listen, I'm bored with everything else. This is the only way. This is the only avenue. Now tell me, what is the difference between pursuing fame? Because I think a lot of people, that's their main goal, is that fame until they get there and then they realize what the fame entails.
Yes.
Or pursuing artistry, and how can those coexist in a way?
I think that fame is about being seen and being a quick fix, if you will. There's nothing wrong if you want to be famous or do you want to be an artist. That's what I usually ask young people. But being an artist is about doing the work, finding the truth of the artistry, and wanting to make an impact with what you do.
Right.
You know,
Okay, so
can
diving,
they coexist?
Yes.
Yes, they can, as long as you keep your head balanced. You got to keep a level head and, you know, make sure you know what you're doing and do the work.
Exactly. I think that's the main point that you're trying to get at, is the difference between artistry and fame, right? Is the work that is in between. And so you need a little bit of both for both, but artistry is when you're really jumping off the deep end and really diving into things that haven't been explored just yet.
You've got to have a drive for it. You've got to want it.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so then people may also recognize you from on screen with Diane Keaton in Mad Money, also seen on Dallas, Memphis Beat, Queen of the South, just to name a few. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer TV and acting, or do you prefer being on stage and singing?
You know, there's something about live theater that is just amazing. There's an adrenaline rush, and I love theater, but I also love film and TV, but theater is where I learned my craft.
Yeah, and it's live too. There's no go back scenes. There's no rewind. There's no nothing.
You keep pushing through.
Listen, but that's how you really, I think, gain who you are in those moments, right? And how you handle pressure and how you handle those tough moments, because there's no running away from it when you're on stage.
You're right there, and you have to face it. There's no cut and let's do it again.
You got to get it right the first time.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're known for your love of cabaret music, so tell me why that genre specifically.
There is something about being able to engage with your audience. I say if musical theater and a music set had a child, it would be cabaret. And in Dallas, though, you have to be careful. When you think cabaret, you don't necessarily think cabaret. So I need to make sure my children know I'm not moonlighting.
She's not out of Harry Hines. Okay,
no.
She is singing.
New York style cabaret series. And so it's a very intimate, where you tell stories and you have great conversation with your audience.
Yes,
and
yes,
so,
indeed.
you know, I combine that now with my nonprofit so that we have conversations as well.
Oh, so it's deeply personal then?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
my
That's
goodness.
why you allow your artistry to take you wherever it is it's supposed to go, and it'll lead you to where you're supposed to be.
Let it define your purpose.
Yes.
I like that, and the Lord as well, okay?
Absolutely.
Very good. If it's only if it's in His will. Thank you so much, Miss Denise. Appreciate you being here and sharing your life with us. We'll be right back.
Karma is the thunder, rattling your ground. Karma's on your scent like a bounty hunter.